Unfiltered Outlaws Boxing, talking to boxing trainer Brandon Krause. So Brandon Krause, a lot of talk. Anderson Silva against Roy Jones Jr. Break it down. In a boxing ring.
A lot of talk from some other circles because I really don't know too much about it. I know that Roy Jones just fought at cruiserweight and had a win over a kind of journeyman type guy. I saw bits and clips of it. He looked thick, man. The dude looked thick and buff. And he just fought the whole time with his butt on the ropes, it seemed, and still won the decision. And, yeah, you know, Roy Jones looking to make as much money doing whatever the heck he can do these days. And why not? And sure, if he could lure Anderson Silva into a boxing ring, he should beat the crap out of him. So I don't see that really going any other way. I don't see a chance in hell that Anderson Silva beats Roy Jones Jr., even this Roy Jones Jr., in a boxing match. You know, if it's in an MMA cage, it's a different story, but
okay.
I think even 10 years from now, Roy Jones Jr. beats Anderson Silva. This present Anderson Silva, a 50-year-old Roy Jones beats him. A 55-year-old beats him. So
is there anyone you want to see Roy Jones Jr. fight this year, or you've kind of like seen enough? I've
seen enough. I like Roy Jones. He seems to be fighting for more pleasure than money. He's still got his commentating job. Did we forget about Roy Jones? That guy owned the 90s. He was Superman. You know, as much as people talk about Floyd nowadays, I mean, don't think that we weren't saying the same things about Roy Jones Jr. And what would have happened if Roy Jones just would have hung up his gloves after John Ruiz? I mean,
he would have been considered one of the best ever.
You would. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy. And I like Roy Jones, and that guy can fight. And the rib smacking, breaking knockout of Virgil Hill, and the knockout rematch of Montel Griffin, and all these other, the way he beat the tar out of Vinny Paz.
He lost to B-Hop in the...
He lost to B-Hop in the rematch, but he beat him in the first time.
I was at the rematch.
You know what I mean? And it
wasn't the prettiest fight in history.
And their first fight wasn't the prettiest fight in history either, but Roy Jones Jr., I think even on his worst day, probably on his deathbed, can still lace him up and whoop on Anderson Silva in the boxing ring.
There you have it. You heard Brandon Krause. What do you guys say? Do you want to see that fight? Roy Jones Jr., Anderson Silva, EsNewsReport.com, and Malik Back reporting.